now the vice president of Scientology calls me and says, we need to start a parishioners league. Sort of like, they don't really have parishioners because they don't believe in anything. They just follow L. Ron Hubbard's tech. But they want to look like their other religions, right? So I come over. I don't want to be head of it, but I tell him I'll talk to him. But once she talks to me, and here's what I've done, she says, you need to be the head of it. So I say, okay, what do you want us to do? She says, I want you to get, tomorrow night they have on A&E, they're going to have a TV show on cults. And I want you to get Scientology off of it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, who am I? You know, they're not going to listen to me. It's A&E. Do it. Start emailing them. You can do it. So I start emailing them, and I get 4 other people, and we email them. And the next day she calls me up, Tory, come on over. I go, oh, I'm in trouble. She puts it on. They took it off. And I was like, my God. So we start doing little projects like that. But as I'm doing it, I'm feeling worse, right? Because I don't really like it. It's not really me. I believe people should be able to speak, and I just don't like it. In the meantime, they're sending me out to talk to the critics. The critics are now, originally there were people who left Scientology. They're ex-Scientologists. Are you guys all with me, or am I like too much? Yeah? Okay? Okay, I'm almost done. Okay, I'm almost done. Okay, so, pardon me? Yeah, okay. So anyway, the critics are people that are like free speech advocates fighting Scientology, right? And so I've been out talking to them, trying to help them wake up and realize they're wrong. But in the meantime, I go on the internet, and Andreas, who's in Norway, helps me as a computer person. And I'm like shocked. It's like, how could he help me? And so I write him and say, thank you for helping me. And he writes me back and he says, you're welcome, best wishes, Andreas. But he has his full name and his full address and everything. And I think, wow, here we are at the top of the bridge to total freedom. We're lying all the time. We can't use our own name. We can't definitely tell anybody our address in this secret mafia thing that I'm in. And here's Andreas, the big quote-unquote devil, telling me everything. So I write him back and I say, you know, why do you have up this stuff about my religion? And he writes back and he says, I believe in truth. I believe in looking at both sides. And I believe in having the courage to say what I think. I don't think Scientologists are bad. I just think they're misinformed. And with that, I just sat in my dining room and cried for like 4 hours because I realized that's who I was at 22 when I got in Scientology. I did believe in truth, and I did believe in looking at both sides. And now I was at the top, had no money, had given them all my money. I was a wreck, and you know, I couldn't even tell my own name. I was hiding all the time. You know, it was ridiculous. And so I wrote him back and I said, I can't stop crying. I mean, I don't know what to do. I have no one to talk to. My husband was born in it. I can't talk to my friends. I can't go talk to Scientology. All the critics think I am David Miscavige. I'm like really scared, right? And he wrote me back and he said, I'm crying reading your email. I'm really sorry to hear what's happening to you, but I've got to ask you this question. What kind of friends could those be if they're going to leave you because you change your mind? And that was really, the Truman Show cracked open for me at that point. Soon after that, I left. He helped me go to Clearwater to meet some friends. They said, bring a cell phone. I went to LAX, and there's Janet Weiland, walks up to me, what are you doing? And I said, how do you know I'm here? And she said, we know where you're going. We know who you're seeing. You're not going. So I get on the cell phone to Stacy, and she goes, stay with us. Stay on the phone. We know what they're doing. You know, don't set the phone down. So basically, after an hour, they get me on another ticket. I get on the plane. I think I'm fine. I get to Chicago. I have to change planes. My husband walks up in the airport. Tory, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? And I'm like, I know all this dark side of stuff that he doesn't know, right? Because I promised I'd never tell him, right? And I'm like, and he's like, we need to go on a vacation. And I know what a vacation means, just like Lisa McPherson. They're going to lock me up in some kind of a cabin, and they're going to torture me. Or not torture, but, you know, not talk to me. And that, to me, that was torture. And I said, just stay away from me. I've got to go talk to these people. I don't know what I'm doing, but just leave me alone. And so finally the Office of Special Affairs comes up in the Chicago airport. And I'm like, what are you doing here? I thought you just, you know. Anyway, finally I get on the plane. I get to Clearwater. It lands at 1:45 in the morning. Now I think, okay, fine, I'm safe. You know, it's 1:45 in the morning. They're not going to be here. Wrong. There's like 25 of them, police, and Bob, Stacy, and Jesse are all there. I used to think were the devils, and now they're like coming to save me, right? They'd called the police saying she's escaping from a cult. We're going to need your help. And sure enough, they're jumping up and down, and I go talk to them for a minute. And the one person at the time I was leaving from was because of David Miscavige. Later, I learned about Hubbard and all these other things, but at the time, it was just I didn't like Miscavige. And so she says, Tory, he's the head of the Scientology now after Hubbard died. And so she says, Tory, I'm best friends with David Miscavige. I can get him a message to you tonight. And the cops had said, we can't decide. She has to decide. We can't do a thing. So I go, I picked them. And they go, stand back. And they got us out of the airport. And then from that, it's just been an unraveling thing. Again, I wasn't going to speak out. Mark happened to be at a thing in Boston with me where I was just trying to talk to the Church of Scientology, and they just kept filming me and being really nasty to me, and finally I just thought, I do have a whole lot to say, and I did this whole video called Magoo Dancing in Boston, which he made. It's fantastic. It's on xenotv.com. But anyway, since then, yeah, he has videos of it. But since then, basically, I've been speaking out. I've been doing my thing. I've helped a lot of families. I've helped kids get out. Scientologists have written me and woken up. I continue to speak out. I was on CNN 2 weeks ago. I was in Inside Edition. Like all these different media have interviewed me. And now they're sending their private investigators out. But, it's like, fine, send your private investigators. All I did was post it on the internet. That's what they're doing. And I called every single radio and TV station and said, this is what they're doing. Start a file. Because if they're going to do more, we're going to have a story. And they said, you're on. They all wrote me back and said, deal. So, that's the blessing and the hope of the internet, is that the internet, to me, here's a person in Norway who helped me wake up. And there's a connection that you can stay in touch with if you learn the internet that's just fantastic. It really is. It's amazing. So anyway, all of you people are very big critical thinkers, I'm sure, and I want to congratulate you on that and thank all the critics of the world because they helped me wake up. So that's my story. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I didn't go too long.